mentors, and mirrors. And of course, a friend yesterday was smiling, just posted back the flyer for the program that we had advertising, and that, like, if I'm thinking correctly, I can just guess where you are taking this. I said, no, we're looking at what's happening now. What are the trends now? Okay. What I'm thinking that he's thinking, that's what I'm thinking, is that, well, you, the parent, you are the first and most important mirrors for your children. But we'll get into all of that. But you are in a battle, really, serious one, serious battle at this time when it comes to mentors for your children. Okay, don't go away. We'll be back after the short break. Thank you. What do we say to a family that is grieving the loss of a child? We encourage you, please. We admonish you. There's still a lot to live for. It's painful. It's punching, it knocks the air out of you, knocks the enthusiasm of life out of you. But then there are still the living. We need to focus on the living. We need to focus on ourselves, especially that issue of mental health, especially the issue of not sinking into a blame game. Maybe it's my fault. Maybe if I had done this. There's none of those that's going to change what the situation is right now.
Career. Little Kim, I started reading some lyrics here. How you like it, baby, from the smash a man can't work the middle because this thing is too little. Let me grab your tatas, do the cha-cha. Now they're little kids. This little girl's 12 years old and keeps singing the lyrics.
Hi, Chanel.
Hi, Chanel. Chanel's a big fan of little. Come here, talk to me, Chanel. How old are you? 12, right? 12. And how do you listen?
For this episode of the program, I found the video. And there's a video I'm going to show you for the first time on this program. We're going to have to play back a video for you to see. It's an interview. It's a TV show. It was a TV show way back 1997 of an interview, or rather, it was a talk show that featured Lil' Kim, popular musician, and then the young woman who was obviously a fan, a 12-year-old, who had been listening to a particular song, the lyrics. And the host of the talk show started that talk show by reading, the lyrics to the audience. It was a packed house. I don't want to spoil your anticipation, your expectation, or your mood. So I wouldn't go on describing. I want you just to sit back, watch this video. We'll come back and talk about it.
Her career. Little Kim, I started reading some lyrics here. How you like it, baby, from the front, from the back. Give that beep a smack. Bet your man won't do it like that. Can't work the middle because this thing is too little. Let me grab your tatas, do the cha-cha. Now, they're little kids. This little girl's 12 years old and keeps singing the lyrics.
Hi, Chanel.
Hi, Chanel. Chanel's a big fan of little... Come here, talk to me, Chanel. How old are you? 12, right?
12.
12. And how do you listen to this music? How do you get away with that in the house?
I listen to it on the Walkman.
On the Walkman? On the Walkman. And why are you crying? Because you're so happy to be in front of Lil' Kim. That's how much she loves you, Lil' Kim.
I love you too.
Now, Chanel, some people are concerned. What would your mommy do if she knew you were listening to words like that?
But she wouldn't let me listen to it because it has so much cursing and stuff in it.
So let me ask you, a nice little girl like you, what you doing listening to music like that? How would you answer that?
I like it.
You like it. How do you help little 12-year-olds like this understand that the music that they're listening to should not affect their lives? We're concerned about 12-year-olds singing about sex like this.
Yeah.
So what do you say, Lil'
Well, I
Pam?
definitely think that Chanel is too young, but mostly I think that she listens to it for the sound and for me being a young, positive, black young woman doing my thing, you know what I'm saying, and getting over a hump. And I want you to make sure you keep God in your life and the person to you. I want you to, be sure, I feel that you're too young to be having sex. You're too young to be listening to my music too. But if you're going to listen to it, make sure you do the right thing. Don't go out and have sex for the wrong reasons. And if you do, if you do decide one day that you want to have sex, use a condom, because I'm pretty sure you're old enough to get pregnant and catch a disease.
Yeah, you talk to your mother and father about that too. Okay. Boy, but I can understand, parents, it gets scary. My next guests say that our
Okay, that's our video. It was Little Kim, the musician, and the audience had been invited as a special guest to this talk show. One of her fans, a 12-year-old, that had been listening to the lyrics of this particularly, no holds barred lyrics about sex, as it were. And well, 1997, for you to understand what this was about then, how this went down then, to know what we're dealing with now, the little girl, Chanel, said she listened to the music on her Walkman. What was a Walkman then? We're not talking about Walkman anymore now. We're talking about phones, iPhones. You're talking about the internet. You're talking about social media platforms of every and all types. But even in 1997, Chanel could listen to such a song, very vulgar, very expressive sexual language, because she said she liked it. Well, it was Little Kim's. Of course, Little Kim obviously was, if you like, an idol, a role model, a mirror. She liked her. She loved her. But what was going on, what the lyric was all about, was enough to just turn little Chanel, then 12-year-old, well, how many years now? 12 years old in 1997. This is 2024. Children don't need to. Chanel being in her late 20s now, will probably be a mother now herself. Well, the talk show hosts say, "Oh, why are you crying? Oh, you're crying, oh, because that's how much you love." You could see her covering her face. It wasn't because she loved Lil' Kim that was, personally, I don't think that was it. She was embarrassed that, what she was listening to, which she knew her parents wouldn't like it. They wouldn't like her if they knew. But she did it anyway, because there was this person who says on the program, a positive young Black woman, positive. Okay, without having to talk down on any, but that's her business. That's the business she's into. And she said it, oh, young children like you are not supposed to be listening to my kind of music. But the music is out there. That's the challenge. And that was the era of Walkman. You had to download it. You had to, now it's just a phone. Just get on any website for anything. Of course, that young 12-year-old would like how this star then dressed, her popularity, TV, billboard, magazine. Those are some of the things that our children are, up against. Those are the things that they are focused on. And now, as a bigger one, it's still the internet. It's still social media. It's still about wanting to be like the Joneses, as they would say. Instant gratification, called content creators, influencers, or so person has so million followers. You have your child, very creative, very articulate, but it has this social influencer, and he or she is interested in his following, also wants to grow like that person, does everything, wants to do things like that person to grow. Why? To be recognized, to hit it, as they'll say in Nigeria, blow, to blow. So it's not just about vulgar language, sexual language on music or in music. That's the issue here. It's about the dress code. It's about, the social behavior. It's about what success now means. There are many researches about social media or the internet and suicidal thinkings and behavior and actual suicides in young people. What are some of the reasons? The children look up to certain figures that they see on the internet. Now, Chanel and Little Kim was 1997. That's about 27 years ago. That's a long time ago. Kind of. The internet was just Facebook. 1997, no. Facebook was not born. It's not there. Social media was not there. The internet was there somehow, yeah, but then that's not a joke. Then what was available there was a joke to what is here now. It was a myth then, it's reality now. So now, your children have father, mother, brother, sister, and the whole family gang on the internet, minus you. Yes, minus you. That's why they could feel so comfortable about locking themselves up in their rooms, and you don't exist. That maybe it's time to find something to chew or use the bathroom. You just sit and brush. They go back, jam the door. They're back. They won't go back to their family. So the challenge now is the role models mentors and mirrors that are available there for the children now seem to suggest that growing up is no longer a process. It's now an event. So growing up is no longer a process. It's now an event. You at home as parents are letting your children know, well, I was able to do this at this time. I got to this stage. Have you ever wondered why they call you old school? Have you ever really sat down to wonder what that term old school means? You're trying to let them know that life itself is a process. They are telling you that it's fast food. What is the reason? What are the reasons for which that is air fryer? It's because of and where do those role models live? It's not the ones on your street, really. It's the ones that live on the internet. And then when some of them try so hard to look, behave, or attain certain successes like the people they are following on the internet, and they can't, they become depressed. These are no hearsays. If you read any of my books, you'll know that I use what happens in my family, my children, as my examples. I have a son. He's in his, well, going into his late 20s now. He's a very good dancer. He works so hard to create dance steps, okay? Once sees this person, sees that, works so hard to create, makes videos and posts. And he gets frustrated that the followership is getting is not. And I keep telling him, number one, life is not one size fits all. It's not everybody. Those people too that you see that have 10 million, 20 million followers on whichever social media platform or handle, it didn't happen one day. Some it happened one day, yes. But unfortunately now, the instant gratification thing on the internet makes it look like when you do anything, and if you do not hit 1 million likes in one day or whatever, you're a failure. And that gets to your children. It got to him, it got to my son, and I told him, no, keep doing what you're doing, keep posting. Keep dancing, you like to dance, dance. Shoot more videos, post, just do your part. I know these people are frustrating. Who are these people? Because the role modeling thing, the mentoring thing has shifted away from the traditional processes and things that we know as mentoring and role modeling to an abstract virtual space, the internet. So, why are we talking about this today? It is high time, if you have not realized that as a parent, that you make yourself visible in your mentoring and role modeling role, duties when it comes to your relationship with your children. At this point, I'm going to bring in Professor Oyewole Sarumi. Thank you, Professor Sarumi, for joining us at this time. Thank you so much. We are looking at the issues around role modeling and mentoring. And now,
okay,
a while ago, we played a video of a young woman who who was listening, because this is for like 27 years ago. This was from 1997, was it from a talk show in the US. Listening to an artist that the lyrics are so laced with sexual language. I mean, I'm really talking about erotic language. But this 12-year-old liked that music, would listen to it. That time was Walkman that, was the in thing then. Now is the iPhone. And we are saying that if from that time, that if you like, that's still pretty much analog. It's not virtual. We hadn't gone completely. We're virtual now. That the role models that we are talking about, that our children are focusing on now, are not the uncles and aunties and grandmothers and grandfathers. Is the internet. Is that iPhone you just bought? That, okay. What should, we're saying parents should come out of the closet and stop agreeing that they are, they say you are old school and you agree. What should parents do to reassert their place as, role models and mentors for their children when it comes to how they relate with different aspects of society and as they grow to become adults? What should parents do to reclaim their place as primary mentors and role model for their children in the age of the internet?
Well, I mean, we have spoken about this in some time past, and I think I emphasized that for children, they have at least 3 role models when they are growing up. Those role models that are in close contact with them. We mentioned the parents, we mentioned the teachers. And I think that time we mentioned those who are guardians or should I call them guardians or caregiver, like you saying that's your part of the world. But then there could also be brothers, sisters, nephews, aunties, or uncles that may also serve as the secondary role model. But the primary role models are basically the teachers, the parents first, then the teachers, and also the guardians. If the parents will take the necessary role, place in the life of their children, they need to be present. What we have today is absentees parenting. And most of them have handed over their role to guardians, to housemates, to other people. And these are people that are not knowledgeable in all the parts that are required for a child to develop emotionally, socially, intellectually, and otherwise. And the parents are the pillar of laying the example for their children to become better citizens in the world. Like I said, unfortunately, parents are not present. And so my advice to parents is to find time out of their busy schedule, because primarily they are the one who wanted these children. The children did not say they are coming. They are the one who call on the children. And therefore, if we are the one who wanted them, then we need to also be present when they are growing up so that they don't become nuisance to the society, or we don't hand over their nurturing, their training to the streets. And as they grow up also, apart from the streets, the internet will also take over and start mentoring them. And so parents need to be present. And when you are present, show your presence by ensuring that you engage them positively by participating in their activities, coming down to their level so that they can feel that love and also the relationship that is important for a child to mature. Because the primary role of parents is to ensure that they help their children to develop bonding, to develop relationship, so that they can understand the nuances of the world through the lens of their parents. If the two parents are busy and working, then they can apportion time so that each of them can be available. But they should make effort to always be available together also, so that the two of them can, relate with the child together as mother and father, so that the child can be a complete human being as he or she is growing up. So so I just felt let me stop there.
Thank you so very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you so very much, Professor Yewale. Well, you said so that the street does not take over. It seems the street has already taken over, But then you've laid it all out. Parents should, make time. It's important. We said so in several books, and like you already said in previous episodes on this program, we would not shy away from repeating things that we've said here, because we'd have to keep drawing our attention to the things that we need to do to secure our children, to help them arrive at that Uhuru land that we wish for, we pray for, we work for them to arrive at and live in. This is talking over, but Professor Wale just said, let it out here. You have to have time. Most importantly, you have to become interested. They call you old school. They call you old school because you're wrapped up in your own world. You don't even know what their interests are. You don't know. You don't know what they're interested in. You are not interested. Okay, your interest is just go to school, study, come back here, bring good grades. Okay, there are many children who can play that game very well. They come back, all you want is A's. Okay, they'll go and get the A's, but with the A's, other things are happening. And you don't know. So, like it's been said, you get to get interested in what your children are interested in. It's only when you are interested in what your children are focused on, what their interests are, that you can be able to be in a place to clarify. That's the only time you can be in a place to clarify, to say, well, this looks good, it sounds good, but then wait a minute, it looks like I know the last bus stop on this route here. I know the last bus stop. I've been there. Even if you hadn't been there, okay, listen to know, watch to know, attend to know what they find of interest in the things that they are copying, in the people that they see as role models. Oh, wow. Why do you like that person? Your guess, you'll be surprised. They will tell you, I don't know why. Some will say, okay, because of the way he dresses. Anybody can dress anything. That's not it. Those moments, because you show interest, because you have gone in to listen to the music, to say, okay, what exactly? No, I see you like this music. Yes, yes, Dad. Okay, what do you like in it? Well, I really don't know. You really don't know, but then you should be able to put your fingers to what you like in it. That you have that conversation, and then you'll be able to clarify based on also what you, even if you don't know anything about that artist or the music itself, you could thank God for the internet again. Okay, it's the internet that brings the problem. The internet can also resolve it. Go back and check out and tell, okay,
You see,
let me,
sir.
yes,
Hello, sir.
yes, sir. Go ahead, sir.
I, I just based on what you have just said, you see, children also they look up to other people as role models. Like you have said, when a parent is present and they can engender conversation and they also watch their parents, I mean their children, what type of are they watching football? If they watch football, they are likely to love one or two people who is an athlete there. If they watch track and events, if they watch music or any of the shows, there is likely to be one or two people that they love there as a role model.
Mhm.
And like you are saying, during the parental conversation, there are questions that parents will bring up. I saw you reading this comic book. What character do you love there? Like we mentioned, why do you love that character? I always see you are watching Premier League. You watch this, you watch Eyimba, you watch American football or whatever. Who are those people that you love there? They will mention names. Then you ask them, what are the things in that character that you love that is attractive to you? Because each human beings have good qualities and bad qualities. It is during such conversation that parent can become a guide so that they can be able to at least moderate stars that their children will start copying or emulate. So that is the reason why the parental conversation is key. They'll be able to draw out a lot of other things from other role models that is shaping the life of their children and be able to nip it at the bud if those influences are negative.
Good.
But if they are positive,
Mhm.
they can even encourage them
Yeah.
better.
Mhm.
All right. That's what I want to add, sir.
Thank you so very much. Well, you see, there's no doubt that there's a benefit by our children, having even people outside of us that they find of interest. But what we're saying here is that you as a parent, you need to find out what it is in the life or profile of that person, okay, that your child is drawn to, and then be in a position to clarify what that. Look, I will tell a story here. You guys know I like to tell stories, because there's something going around globally now, which is really big. Well, yes, it's big, but it's been there. It's not new. It's not new. If it's coming, a lot of it that is coming to light now is coming to light because certain people want it to come to light. It's the arrest and the detention of, if you like, the incarceration of PDD, Puff Daddy. Okay? If we're talking about mentoring and role modeling, there are a lot of young people who see, such stars as people they should follow. They are talented and they're innocently, and I'm not saying innocently because I'm not saying PDD is guilty of anything. I'm not saying he's not guilty of anything, but I'm just saying that they see such big stars, they want to be like them. And most time or sometimes opportunities arise that bring make them to get close to such, stars, and maybe they get to learn from them, they get to stay with them. I will tell a story that involves me. I used to be a publicist for one of Nigeria's biggest, musical talents in the late 80s, early 90s, before I resigned from that situation or that field. And as his popularity grew, a lot of young people, came around him wanting to be helped, having what we call demo tape. Then everybody wanted him to listen to. It's actually what got me on this journey of doing development work, if you like. Okay, it was in the process of I'm currently writing a new book right now on this particular artist and my relationship with him over that time. That was what got me into, okay, what can we do to help these people or these young people? First of all, they are talented, but he himself didn't have all the resources with which to help them. There's a particular young person when I eventually had to found a fans club for this artist. We launched the fans club, and in due time, as I was collecting the demo tapes from all of these up and coming artists, and I knew he didn't have time. When, at our own quiet times, I would play a few for him. I said, listen, this guy is really good. And I saw that he was much more wrapped up in his own, battles, in his own career, in his own. And I decided to let him be, but do something to use his influence also to help these other young people. I created what we call that time Youth Aid, which became an organization eventually. Youth Aid started with the Youth Aid Festival. And Youth Aid Festival was to bring all of those young people that had their demo tapes, get them to rehearse and present them to captains of the music industry, the entertainment industry in Nigeria, in one place, in a performance, in a concert, for them to perform. And those of them that are good enough for them to be picked and then contract and all of that. We did the first edition in 1990. By the 1991 edition, somebody that participated in the first one said, they used to call me Daddy Richie. I wonder how old I was then to be called Daddy Richie in 1990. Daddy Richie, there's somebody, you need to listen to him. This was a young man, but incidentally, he sang in one of the traditional Nigerian musical that's called Fuji. And when this young man was brought to me, I lived alone. That's my apartment where I lived was comfortable enough. And then I wasn't married. I was in a relationship. I wasn't married then. He, it was also my office. It's not COVID-19 that got me to start the work from home thing. I've been working from home like forever. Okay. When he came and he performed in my presence, I was like, wow. Long story short, I asked them to register him to participate in Youth Aid Festival, the second edition of Youth Aid Festival in 1991. Prepared them, performance day, he was at the hall. It was a place called Lodge Club in Maryland, Lagos, that time, Lagos, Nigeria, And everyone away, the judges, he won that contest. But why I brought this up was that this young man had to live with me. He later became a very big and, fairly big, popular Fuji artist in Nigeria called Atawewe then. Sule Atawewe. Yes. Atawewe lived with me. He very tiny at this time. The person who brought it to me, they were brought from the Ikorodu area of Lagos, Nigeria, the southwest of Nigeria. I had to go visit the parents. We're talking role modeling here. Please, let's not forget what this is all about. Mentoring and role modeling. Sunday has dropped out of school. I'm like, why? You can sing, you good. This doesn't have to stop your school. I was now made to go. He was afraid to go back home. He said his parents will kill him if he goes home. Why will your parents kill you if you go home? I followed, I took him. We traveled to Ikorodu. It was a travel, it was a journey. I met the parents and they explained that he was living on the streets, that he was smoking this, was smoking that. I'm like, at your age? And the young man himself now narrated how he got into those things in the first place. The parents had no money to buy him books. He would get to school, the teachers would give him an assignment. There are no books for him to read to do the assignments. So he was now afraid to go home and afraid to go to school. So he ended up on the street by himself. And of course, on the streets, things happen, hemp, smoking, and other age. But he had this good voice. So I offered, to take care of him. And his parents were happy. He lived with me till, they did that festival. He won. He was the first prize. He won the first prize at that festival. Now, I'm not saying everything about me. I'm not saying, the only one perfect person in the whole world is God. But this young man lived with me for those months. Feeds, whatever he had to do was with me. There were others. He wasn't the only one that eventually had to stay with me forever. Today we have other young people. We have young people ending up in such environments, in such relationships. Sometimes because of, well, they are talented. This person is in a position to develop that talent to the next level, get them to get contracts. I was in that position at that time. And of course, I also did what I could do for this or that. Like I said, Sule later became, I'm sure if we go on Google, on YouTube and Google Atawe, where we'll find some of his music and all of that there. But this story about him, I don't know how many people really know that. So there was enough time for everything about him to go south if he ended up with the wrong person as a mentor, okay, as a role model that time. His parents were powerless. If that's not a very good expression. They could barely make ends meet for the other siblings and himself. That's why he found himself on the street. So Professor Wale, in such situations, what should such parents do? And the people who become, if you like, the good Samaritans that take in young men, young women to get them, prepare them for their tomorrows. What kind of messages should we be sending to them? In view of what is become known now, or at least the things that are rumored now about the relationship between Puff Daddy, okay, we're talking role modeling, mentoring, and all of that. And some of the young people who have become adults themselves now, who are, well, big stars now, if you like, themselves, who grew under him. Professor Wale?
Yes. Hello?
Yeah, okay. I said, looking at this. Oh, sorry about that. I said Sule Atawewe stayed under my tutelage, under my mentoring for a while. Okay, while his music career was being developed and all of that. Okay. We have people now. I'm using Puff Daddy. I believe you know the story about Puff Daddy.
No, I don't.
Oh, it's a huge thing on globally now in the entertainment industry. He is detained for so many things about what happened in his house with young people who he mentored, who was, who he was.
Is it Nigeria or America?
No, it's an American. It's an American. In Nigeria now, there are many people who are in that role now to taking other into other young people. There was a huge problem last year, a huge, well, unfortunate incident last year that resulted into the death of one such person. I think it's called Mubad. Okay, and one person, a particular musician or artist in Nigeria then that is said to have been lived with or signed contract with and all of that was being fingered and all. But well, that's another story for another day. There are so many things that are around there. But I'm saying people who are not, there's a parental challenge to this, and there's non-parental challenge to this. Parents who have to now seed, okay, let me use the word seed, the mentoring of their children to, serve to other people who maybe might be seen to be in better positions to prepare them better for the next stages of their lives. Either because they didn't have the means, okay, or they are not trained in those areas. What should we say to such parents? Should they stay completely out of the affairs of their children since they are not knowledgeable in those areas? And the people who are now taking the place as role models, what should we also be saying to them? The children are the products in this case now. They are the focus here now.
No, I mean, basically, we've said it all. Parents that are handicapped or that have ceded the mentoring of their children to someone else, they are not to hands off completely also. They still need to be very close to their children and interact with them so that at least they know how things are going on in their life, even if they are not knowledgeable in the area where those people are mentoring them. But I'm sure that by relating with their children, they are going to have at least a tunnel vision concerning whatever that might be happening in their lives, and then use their own wisdom to also, counsel, because it's still their children. So definitely they should still be able to speak to them, even though they don't have the means of nurturing them up in the area that their children are interested in. Parents shouldn't hand off. And then for the role model that are taking over the children, they should also make effort to also, get to know the parents. It's also very important. Get to know the parents, not for them to, be giving them anything or whatever, but if they have the means, they could support the parents. But then they should let the parents get access, have access to their children, and then have access to them also, so that they can at least discuss the growth and the development of that child, because both of them are now role model. The one who is in charge, and then the parents also. So I don't think there's any, there should be meeting point where those supposed role models meet with parents to also share their views about the child, and together they can reason more and see how to help the child to become better and acquire the necessary skills that he or she might be after with the supposed role model. So there's nothing wrong with that. But it's going to depend on a lot of understanding, both on the part of the parents and also the secondary role model, if I can say that.
Thank you so very much, Professor Wole. Now, the biggest role model that we have identified, you've spoken to it, I have spoken to, we all know it, The biggest mentor, global mentor right now is internet. Okay, is internet. And I don't know where that conversation between parents and the internet would have to take place in terms of negotiating, what should happen um, between the internet and the parents. And much more seriously now, look, at the top of the program, I was describing the dependency of young people, all of us actually, but much more on the part of younger people on the internet, especially when it now comes to the issue of what to copy, what to see as successful, what to see as failure. And then I also said that there's been quite some researches done that have linked suicidal tendencies and actual suicides to depressions, born out of children who spend a lot of time on the internet. For parents whose children who know that their children spend a lot of time on the internet, what kind of advice, or what should we say to them? What should they be saying to their children in terms of what they are seeing on the internet and, well, real life situations, as in, things, how to going step by step that we know about, go from stage 1 to stage 2, and the instant gratification that the internet seems to suggest, especially when you now look at content creation and getting popular on it. What should we be saying to them as they venture into that world?
The responsibility lies with the children, with the parents. We need to ask, we need to let the children know the kind of behavior we are going to condone, what kind of music they should be listening to, because all of these are very essential, and it signal the fact that you as a parent, you are trying to model their behavior. Because if you allow them to be listening to all sorts of musics, they are going to, copy a lot of role models that are not suitable. And that's we still come back to it, that the parents are the pillar, especially for those who are still at home. They are the pillar. They are the one that should model, they should be the digital role model, if I can call that, digital role model for their children. They should be the one to say, well, this music is good, this one is not good, this one is this. But the children will still explore. They will still explore.
Sorry, Professor Wale, to cut in here. Wouldn't that be considered as overreaching for us to be that parents are dictating what kind of music and movies their children should watch?
Oh, they depends on their level anyway. It depends on their level. If they are still young, you can control them. You can control the kind of thing they are exposed to. But once they have become teens, it might be difficult. It might be difficult. But one thing I like to say is that parents need to set example.
Yeah.
Because children learn a lot from parents. So we should make sure that what they are seeing in our lives is what is essentially good for them. So we need to demonstrate responsible, technological usage, and then also limit our screen time, so that, because sometimes they copy us.
Is it sometimes? They copy you all the time, not sometimes, all the time.
Most of the time they copy us, sorry. And that can be a way to positively learn and advance, and even to also improve and develop themselves. Like I said, we need to establish clear boundaries, at least for those that are still under us. We need to establish the boundary. We've said it on this call before that once you keep repeating things, even when they are not with you, your voice will still be echoing. When they want to do that thing, your voice will still be sounding as if to say their mother is still with them or their father is there. So we should not be tired of keep repeating things, what we feel will benefit their life. So we need to establish boundaries. That is very important. Set clear boundaries around technology and screen time. Limit the amount of time that your child spends on apps. Have specific time for screen so that they can be able to know that life is not just full of screen. There are other things outside screen. So it will depend on, then sometimes you use technology together with them so that they can be able to know that you are not condemning technology as such, but that you are saying that they need to develop positive digital habits so that all this conversation need to keep going on. And then because of the conversation that we talk about, we need to teach them responsible online behavior so that they don't fall into the hands of a child predator and what have you. So because many children who are caught in this web, it is because they have not been taught the good online behavior so that they should learn how to protect their personal information, how to identify scams, or strange online, users. All of those. These skills will help, our children to navigate the digital world safely and responsibly as they grow. So that's very important. So guiding them. Okay, go ahead.
No, go ahead, sir. Go ahead. I thought you had done. I thought you were done.
So another thing is that we need to keep an eye on our child online activity. And it's not monitoring, it's legitimate. So that you can have access to some accounts that they have access to. And you block inappropriate content and monitor them for any strange or unethical behavior. This will help new parents to identify and address any potential issue or problem that the child might run into eventually. So then one thing I think parents need to do, which is important, is to encourage that the child should be engaged in physical activities. We need to promote physical activity and outdoor play so that you help the child to develop, healthy habits and behavior so that they can balance their screen time. All of those is important. And then it's important that parents participate in this activity to create the sound foundation for maintaining healthy lifestyle. That what you are teaching them, you are also participating. You see, if any parents I'm not done so, I will encourage them to start it because it's quite important. It's something that I've seen a lot of parents do, and it works for them. Then I will not forget to be saying this over and over. Parents, be available. Be available. And once you are available, encourage open communication. Once you are available, encourage them to, ask you questions. Listen to them. And you might even let them ask you questions about technology. Let your child know, that they can come to you with any issues, any question that they have, any reservation. It is okay. There is nothing sacrosanct with you. They can ask you any question. Because so that they don't figure out certain things on their own and then they run amok. So by doing this, I believe that with open communication and being available, it will help the parent to build the trust of their child and also encourage your child to come to you with any issue or question that they may face, because life unfolds every day. And so when we relate with them on a regular basis, we can be able to also answer their question.
Okay, so thank you so very much, Professor Wale. And actually, well, we always knew that we had not always, we had known from the beginning that we will not be able to deal with all the issues around mentoring, role modeling, and mirroring in one episode of this program. When we are rounding up today, it's actually out. That's where we intend to take the second part of this issues, role modeling, mentoring, and mirroring, which is the internet. Okay, there's a particular aspect of the internet that we really have to look at, and the role that parents have to play. Professor Wale kept saying, for those who are still at home, for those that are still at home, even those who are not at home, the internet is now a go-to place for every and anything, including fame, including riches, and there's a whole lot that's going on, and young people are feeling, left behind once they are not into that main flow of it. We'll take a deeper look at this in the next episode of the program. Will still be of role model, mentors, and mirrors. Okay, part 2 of this program will be looking much more at the issues of the internet, dissemination of information, pursuit of success, and pursuit of fame on the internet, and the role that parents will need to play in this. Some of those roles have been mentioned here today, but we will be talking much more in depth about what we need to do. We really need to throw away that toga of your old school, Joe, and then we agree, okay, we are old school, and we sink back into, no. The lives of our children is too important. They are too important for us to throw our hands up for anything and then, behave like, okay, it's all well and good. No, it wouldn't be all well and good. Okay. So people, I'm just going to ask Professor Wale to give us his closing remarks. And that will be it for our program for today on the Slow Parenting program. Professor Wale, now, for the parents, you've said it, we can't say it enough. Parents, for us, on this program, in real life, they are the first set of persons that your children they want to be you. They don't, who do they see before they have that iPhone? It's you. So it's your business to make that focus remain on you and make the iPhone secondary. So Professor Wale, your closing remarks.
Well, our children, they learn to behave from watching us. I want that to sink. Our children, they learn, to behave from watching us. Therefore, as parents, it is important to model appropriate behavior, whether digital or physical, so that we'll be the positive example for our children to imitate, copy as they become. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Professor Wale, and friends and family on the Slow Parenting program. That's it for on our show today on the Slow Parenting program. But I just want to leave you with this. We've said it, your children want to be you. That's the first thing. Get that. I mean, let that sink. They want to be you. Either consciously or unconsciously, they are copying you. So it's not enough to blame the internet. It's not enough to blame anything else. If you play, I don't want to use the word dominant. If you play a significant role in the affairs of your children, you become that go-to person that they are when any issues arise in your relationship with them or even with others. So if you take the back seat, other role models, including the internet, would occupy that void. Okay? Like they say, nature abhors vacuum. Don't leave a vacuum in your relationship with your children, especially when it comes to what will be their reasons for doing specific things. You can't be all that reason, but you need to know what their reasons are and then be in a position to clarify which aspect of it would be beneficial to them going forward, and the ones that you know from experience will not be beneficial for them going forward. Okay, so thank you so much for being with us today. Remember to join us again. We're going to be going on part 2 or on the part 2 of this episode, which is role models, mentors, and mirrors on the Slow Parenting program. Same time, Wednesday next week, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, US and Canada, and 7 p.m. West Africa time, including Nigeria. See you then. Be safe and keep mentoring. Bye-bye.
Sometimes they fear off. I know that there are exceptions.
Focus on quality time rather than the other